Hello and welcome to a new video here on my channel here at Comaik. In this video I'm testing the new Dreame A1 Pro, a robotic lawnmower without boundary wire, without RTK antenna, without beacons and without additional cameras. No, this device operates with a 360 degrees sensor. The robotic lawnmower only needs to be set up once on your property and then operates autonomously. Does it really work the way advertisements promise? That's the question I'll get to the bottom of in this video. Definitely stay tuned, we're about to get started. And a little tip, the robot will be given away at the end, so make sure to watch the video closely. The A1 Pro robotic lawnmower, which you can see running behind me, comes from Dreame. Dreame originally belonged to the Xiaomi group, but now operates as an independent brand and is known for its household robots. Dreame makes mopping robots, vacuum robots, and even window cleaning robots. Some examples are the L10S, the Dreame Z10 Pro and the H12 Pro. These are all top models, which regularly rank in the top 10 in Germany and were among the best sellers during last year's Amazon Black Friday and even took first place last year. So it's no newcomer. Dreame is now gradually venturing outside the home, specifically with lawn mowing robots. The model you see driving behind me is a lawnmower robot that operates without any cables, without an RTK antenna, without having to lay boundary wires in the ground, and without beacons. The device creates a 3D map. The technology behind it is called OmniSense, and the result looks like an ultrasound map. With this map, the robot can autonomously navigate the property and mow the lawn. In this video, I'll be checking whether it does a good job. But first, let me show you what comes with the robot, what you get in the box, and what one of you can win at the end of this video. The Dreame A1 Pro was delivered to me in an outer box. Inside that outer box was the stylish packaging. The packaging definitely makes an impression, but you shouldn't underestimate its size and weight. You have to lug around a good 15 kilograms just to unpack the robot. And once you unpack it, the contents are quite straightforward. There really isn't that much to it. In the package, there's the robot. There's the charging station, which in the package consists of the base and this back piece, which you simply click together. There's this brush, which will later clean the sensor nicely. You just insert it up here and the charging station is ready. What else is included? In this large box, you'll find the ground anchors to secure the station to the ground. There are replacement blades and a comprehensive manual in various languages. It's also available in German. I always really appreciate having a printed manual. Along with the cleaning cloth, there's also the power adapter to supply electricity to the charging station. The charging station itself, of course, also has a cable. It's 10 meters long. The length should be sufficient in most cases to optimally position the charging station. The charging station doesn't necessarily have to be placed on the lawn. It can also be set up next to the lawn. That works. What I especially like is the setup guide. It's an instruction sheet with English titles and German instructions underneath. It explains how to properly unpack the box, how to assemble the station, and how to set up the robot. It couldn't be any easier. Everything I need is available here at a glance. Let's take a closer look at the robot. This thing is impressive, isn't it? The robotic mower looks stylish, it gives a high quality impression. When you get close, you quickly notice it's plastic. The weight at 12 kilograms is relatively high. The sensor looks especially sleek, like a multicolor effect paint job. There's a diffuser on the back. It looks a bit like a Porsche. This stop logo design also looks like something from Porsche. When I press the stop button, the cover opens. I was a bit worried I might break the flap. It feels flimsy, but I don't really need to open it that often anyway. Under the flap is the control panel of the robotic mower. The design reminds me of the one-touch controls from BMW or Audi. You turn the wheel left and right, press it and select a function. Plus there are the functions of the 4 buttons. It looks very stylish. I also really like the color display. The underside of the robot reveals the cutting mechanism. There's a rotating disc in the center. The downside, as is often the case, is that the area from the disc to the edge can't be mowed, because when the robot drives along a wall, it obviously can't mow that area. It's best if the robotic mower can drive right along the edge. If you have curbstones or walkways along the edge of your lawn, The robot drives right over the lawn edge and can, of course, mow it as well. A special feature of this robotic mower is the tool-free blade replacement. I'll take a closer look at that in detail. But first, let's move on to installing the robot. I'll set up the station on my test area. I will install the charging station and link it to the robot. I'll show you in this video how to install the robot, set up the charging station and connect it with the app. Installing the charging station is extremely simple and very quick. I just placed the charging station on the ground, secured it with 4 ground anchors and connected the power supply to the socket. I can also screw in a 5th and 6th ground anchor. One thing I notice here, this part probably comes straight from a 3D printer. I was a bit worried that the ground anchors might break on the gravel here. The Allen key is also made of plastic. You can use it once. A second or third time probably not, but whatever. It definitely served its purpose, so I can't complain. I've parked the robot next to it and will now turn it on. I have to press the button for 2 seconds, then the robot starts up. I hope you can see it. Yes, you heard it. The robot took a little while to boot up. It took about a minute. Next, the display prompts me to select a language. With the rotary dial, I can choose German, a click in the middle, and I've selected the language. Now I can set a pin of my choice. I'm asked not to use 0000. For the video, I'll use the simple pin 1234. Don't worry at all, of course, I will absolutely reset or completely change it after the video is finished and uploaded. That's it, it's a color display. I can set and try out all the functions here, but at the moment I'm not really interested in that. I want to put the robot to work. I want to show it a property and most importantly, I want to connect it to the app. And I'll show you how that works now. To connect the robot to my phone, I first downloaded the Dreame app. You can find the corresponding QR code in the installation manual or just take a look under the video in the video description. There you'll find all the important and relevant links and information about this robot. After successfully installing the application, I can then proceed to add the robotic mower by simply scanning the unique QR code that is conveniently located on the underside of the lid. And that's what I'm going to do now. I tap on scan. The app requires permissions on my phone, which I granted. Well, it took about a minute, not much longer. I've now linked the robot to my phone. That was much faster than I expected. I'm going to charge the robot on the charging station now, and then I create the map of the lawn. This robotic mower doesn't have a boundary wire, proper mapping, or an RTK antenna. It operates solely using its OmniSense sensor. I only need to drive it around the lawn boundaries once. I'm really curious to see how well this works in practice on my property. The Dreame A1 Pro drives over my valve boxes. I like that. For example, the end spot doesn't do this. Of course, it should also mow the edges. Here you can see the robot stops at first. Edge mowing happens in a separate cycle. I'll show you that in a moment. But first, let's head into the app. I want to show you what functions are available there and what you can set on the robot. There's quite a lot. And while the robot is waiting for its next assignment, I'll show you what functions the app includes. I've already launched the app, and on the home screen you can see the Dreame A1 Pro is already pre-selected. I go into the device and immediately see the map with the 3 zones I created right on the home screen. Here I can start the robot by, for example, selecting the entire area or just the boundary, meaning the lawn edge. To mow, I can select the zones, specific mowing points, or control the device manually. That works as well. At the top right, I can see the mowing performance so far and the current battery level. In the schedule menu, I can choose which schedule I want to use and customize it individually. Of course, I can also edit the map. I've already set up the map with my 3 zones and could now add a second map as well. However, for this you will need a second charging station. Depending on the selected mowing area, you can individually specify in the settings how it should be mowed there. The general mowing preference applies to the entire map. Here you can set whether you want to mow in standard mode at 120 square meters per age or in efficiency mode, where the device should manage 200 square meters per age. However, in that case, less attention is paid to obstacles. If you have the time, you should stick with the standard mode. Below that, I can select the mowing height by clicking on the desired height. I mow my lawn at 4.5 centimeters. You can also set the mowing direction. With the mowing direction, I determine at what angle, starting from the charging station, the robot should drive. 90 degrees works very well for me. I recommend setting the angle so that the robot drives diagonally as rarely as possible. This minimizes the effort. What I really like here, besides the simple adjustment, is also the option to set specific patterns. At the moment, I have selected the checkerboard pattern. By clicking on the eye, I also get an explanation of what that means. The robot changes its driving direction by 90 degrees with each operation. But I can also activate a so-called cross pattern, where the robot changes its mowing direction by 45 degrees each time. This is gentler on the lawn, as the robot doesn't have to drive over the same areas as often. In the mowing settings, I can also specify that the edges should be mowed along with the entire area. The robot always does this afterwards, once it has finished with the main area. After that, it goes around the edge one more time and mows it. I can activate or deactivate obstacle avoidance at the edges here, and the LiDAR detection can also be turned off here. I leave both options enabled because I don't want the robot to run into obstacles. One last setting concerns obstacle avoidance or the detection of obstacles. I can set how tall an object must be for the robot to recognize it as an obstacle. Especially if the grass is very tall and still needs to be mowed, the height should be set relatively high. However, this also means that obstacles such as animals or toys that are smaller may be run over. This is definitely something that should be taken into account. The distance for obstacle avoidance can also be set within a range of 10 to 20 centimeters. This is the safety distance that the robot maintains from detected obstacles. Back on the home page, I also have the option to view the basic menu items for the app or the robot. With the 3-dot menu at the top right, I can view the logs of previous mowing tasks. It has already covered 260 square meters and 542 minutes. The consumables are also displayed, and I can reorder replacement blades directly. After 3 uses, the blades are still in good condition, and I can use them for about another 96 hours. The cleaning performance is also displayed, and I can purchase additional accessories as well. The rain protection is activated. As soon as the robot detects raindrops on its sensor, it automatically returns to its garage. There, it waits at least 3 hours before resuming work at the spot where it left off. This protects both the robot and, of course, the lawn. A frost protection function is also built in. I haven't seen that feature in other robotic mowers yet. I think it's a good addition. It's mid-May, and at night, temperatures are still dropping below freezing. The low speed at night is a kind of animal protection. Here I can set when the robot should operate at an extremely low speed. However, I do have my doubts about whether that actually makes sense. After all, hedgehogs are known for curling up when they sense danger, rather than running away no matter how fast the obstacle is approaching them. Once the robotic mower's battery is charged, it should of course resume its work, and it does so exactly at the spot where it previously stopped. That definitely works. I was able to test it several times. Additionally, there is of course the anti-theft alarm. By default, however, only the lift alarm is enabled. If the robotic mower is lifted, a loud siren sounds and the robot is locked. It can then only be unlocked by entering the personal PIN, so stealing it is pointless. Unfortunately, the alarm for leaving the predefined map area or real-time location tracking is not included in the standard package. To get these features, I would first have to purchase the link module separately and install it in the robot. Further down, I then have general information about the robot, the network, the time zone or firmware updates. I can set and adjust all of this here. I can also select the robot's voice here. In my opinion, the German language voice is very well done. I've now had the chance to test the Dreame A1 Pro robotic mower for a while, and it's time for a conclusion. Let's start with the appearance. I think the look speaks for itself. The robotic mower looks really stylish with that dome at the front. From behind, it actually reminds me of the Porsche Panamera. No idea why that comes to mind. The app is well thought out. That was already evident with the vacuum robot, where the features made sense and worked well. However, the app generates too many notifications and is sometimes a bit clunky and sluggish. I've noticed that several times, but that's something that can be improved and the features can be further refined. Setting up the robot was super quick. It took me no more than 10 minutes to assemble the charging station and connect it to the app. I really can't complain about that. Now, let's move on to mapping and editing the map. That's something you have to get used to. Unlike my RTK lawn robots, which I've already had the chance to test, I have to manually drive this robot around the entire map once. I can create my zones, I can set up hotspots and no-go areas, and even assign special mowing patterns. Everything I need works, but at the beginning I have to drive the robot along all the edges. Well, you only have to do that once. During setup, there are a few tricks I've read about and also put into practice. I wanted the robot to automatically mow my lawn edges cleanly and completely. To make sure it does that, I didn't do the mapping run as recommended, 10 centimeters inside the boundary, but instead a bit outside the edge. I steered it right over the center of my edge. Later on, the mower robot drove right down the middle of the lawn edge and mowed the borders perfectly. I think that's great. It works. But there's also a huge downside with my property. Since I have gravel beds on the sides, the robot has trouble with the gravel. It regularly got stuck. It churned up the stones, dug deep holes, and kept getting tangled up. However, I never had to pull it out even once. It always managed to free itself. I'm not sure whether it's a design flaw in the hardware or if the problem could be solved with software. In my opinion, a bit more weight should be added to the rear axle to increase the pressure on the drive shaft. What else did I notice? When the robot tries to turn to free itself from the gravel bed, it always drives and steers using only one wheel. When making a right turn, the left wheel should move forward and the right wheel should move backward. But the robot doesn't do that when it gets stuck. However, during normal operation, it does do this when turning. I've already written to the engineers and hope that a solution will be found for this. The robotic mower follows its U-shaped paths cleanly with an overlap of about 50%. It handled my hills and the slope of the lawn without any problems. Even on slightly wet grass, it had no issues. I deliberately let it run in the rain. The spikes on the wheels are made of rubber. When it's driving on the walkways, you can barely hear it. That's a nice feature. The robot is really very quiet. That's an advantage compared to the other robots I've had before. However, the rubber wheels are also a bit soft. They bend under high resistance and then don't provide enough grip on the walkways. So what does that mean in the end? Is the Dreame A1 Pro a bad robot? No, it's a great device. Not only does it look stylish, it also works flawlessly. And the issues I've identified can definitely be solved with software updates. I also assume that these problems will be resolved. I think the robot is suitable for anyone who doesn't have to mow more than 1,000 meters squared, even though it's supposed to handle up to 2,000 square meters. It's suitable for anyone who either has a solid drivable lawn edge or where the robot can drive right up to the edge. Do you have a lawn like that? Then this is the robot for you. If you have gravel on the side that you don't want to secure separately, then this might not be the right robot for you. That's my conclusion on the Dreame A1 Pro. If you want to know more about the robot, take a look below the video. Dreame sponsored this device and now you have a chance to win it. But first, you should check the video description. Dreame has given me a discount code for you. You'll find it below the video. With that, you can get the robot at a great discount and maybe even with a bonus. There you'll find my links and more information from my blog about this robotic mower, so you can read up at your leisure. You probably want to know how you can win the Dreame A1 Pro now, right? It's really simple. Give my video a like, at least if it was helpful to you and you enjoyed it. I'd also love for you to subscribe to my channel and stick around for the long term. That would be great too. That helps me and my channel grow. And to enter the giveaway, I'd also like to see a comment from you. Write in the comments below the video what you think of this robotic mower. Which features that I mentioned during the video impressed you the most and why? That's all you need to do to take part in the giveaway. You can find the other terms and conditions for the giveaway in the video description. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. I'm already looking forward to it. Take care. See you then. Bye.